You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
And welcome to the show. Today we're discussing the Halloween Bonanza in Muskogee, Oklahoma, and later in the show, tax cuts coming to Oklahoma. Tax breaks? You got to be kidding me. I'm Brett.
And I am Harley.
Well, you know, I know. It's a trope we can't avoid.
No, we can't avoid it.
You're
going to say it's that time of year again,
'Tis the season. That's Christmas.
I'm going to smack you.
It's OKlatober.
It is OKlatober, but it is not that time of year again.
It's spooky season.
It's not that time of the day. It's not
What
that
is it?
time of the year.
Is it spooky season?
We've banned those words.
There is a list of words that we've banned.
And they need to be on the board.
We need a board. We need a jar that we put money. Well, no, we don't. I'll put future dollars into a jar.
Speaking of future dollars, since that was invented with my son.
It was. I do owe your son a lot of future dollars.
A bajillion future dollars.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we start getting there and beating the street and knocking on doors to scrape up some of them current dollars, I will make good on all of the future dollars.
I don't know what the equation for future dollars versus actual currency, but it probably looks like one of those NFTs.
When I started the future dollars conversation with
my 5-year-old son,
your 5-year-old son, inflation, also the what's a dollar worth these days?
I don't know, but that was, I'm going to say 12 years ago. My son is 17 now.
Well,
broke his foot today.
I'll give him okay.
I'm going to bet that your future dollars promised 12 years ago will not cover the emergency room visit from today.
How about an NFT created in his honor? How's that? With futuristic dollars. Well, anyway, let's stop talking about future dollars and let's
stop talking about spooky events like paying hospital bills.
That's scary.
And talk about something that is equally scary.
Right.
Some spooky happenings in the town of Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Do you know what's scarier than a bill collector? A bone collector. And apparently Charles Crawford at the Fite Estate in Muskogee had like a pioneer Frankenstein doctor that lived in his house. So he's probably got the ghost of a bone collector in his house.
Probably. And I think we covered that in the interview.
In the interview. And we also get to talk to the folks over at the RoccaDawn Airbnb. They're doing a little something. I say we just jump into the interview.
Let's do it.
Well, OKlatober continues with tons of events across the state. And here to talk about the Halloween Bonanza coming up in Muskogee is the RoccaDawn crew and Charles Crawford with the Fite Estate. With the Fite Estate. Welcome to the show. Hey, we finally made it, even after scheduling conflicts. So you all have got a pretty cool thing coming up towards the end of the month, around about October 20th, the Halloween Bonanza. I don't know who wants to go first, but tell us a little bit about what's going on and what your plans are moving forward.
We happen to be neighbors. I purchased the Fite Estate, and then upon purchasing it, within 2 weeks, I was told by pretty much every member in town that I was going to have competition right across the street. And when Rocco and Don were moving in, kind of looked at each other from each other's houses and then kind of made each other halfway in the street and both waved at each other to come over, and everything just clicked immediately, and we decided to start doing events together.
Well, and if you can't beat them, join them, right?
That's right.
Before we get too far into the weeds on the Halloween Bonanza, can you guys kind of tell us how and why you both decided to buy creepy-looking mansions in Muskogee, Oklahoma?
Well, we always thought they were haunted.
See? Yeah, that's a great selling point. It really is.
Yeah, the one better thing to do is to buy a house that looks like it's haunted and, capitalize on that. Also help the community.
Well, it's one thing to look at it and think it's haunted. And when I look at a house, I can go, man, it just looks haunted. I would move in, when people post those pictures that say for $1,000, would you stay here all night? I'd stay there for free. I mean, I love the idea of being in a place that's kind of haunted. With that being said, you both have historical landmark locations. Can you say that you haven't or have experienced at least something? I mean, it looks haunted.
Well, with the RoccaDawn, we had someone stay here, and have been told I sleepwalk or sleep eat.
Oh.
And one of the doors has to be open, and I know I didn't try to open the door to actually Dawn's best friend. And I was like, no, maybe that wasn't me. That wasn't me. So maybe. And then as far as, the Fite Estate across the street, it can get creepy at times.
I'm going to have a confession here.
Okay.
And something told Rocco yet is I was on the third floor making one of the beds. He helps me out. So it's not much to think, all right, he's up on the third floor to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And I around to ask him to help me make the bed, and there's no one there. And you know that feeling?
Oh, yeah.
Like there's someone watching you?
Yeah.
And I just figured, Rocco's going to think I'm crazy. So I didn't mention anything. And then there's been
my God, this is an okay verse.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I don't want you to think I'm crazy. And we were all outside, and we go inside the house, and the door was locked. That's actually happened to us twice where we got locked out of the house. Another time, I was the only one I was the last one in the house, I guess I should say. And I had walked back in, and there's water running. And in a house this size, you don't know where it's at. You can kind of tell it's on the first floor, but you don't, you've got 2 kitchens, you've got 3 bathrooms, you've got, tons of running water parts. So I'm looking throughout the house, and I find it, and the bathroom, the sink was full, turned on full, like just running. Jeez. Like what in the world? So I asked Rocco, I asked her kid, no one's turned it on, no one knows anything about it. And I'm like,
Oh my goodness. Charles, how about you?
When I first bought the Fite Estate, there was an issue with the fact that it was an abandoned children's hospital.
Oh.
Originally built to be the governor's mansion, built by Dr. Fite, F-I-T-E. Real doctor, but like a Civil War doctor, like the kind that operates the back of the barbershop.
Right.
Yeah. Used barbershop tools.
Oh my goodness.
And he actually did become accredited and came over to Oklahoma to treat the indigenous population. That was the, kind of the backstory for the building of the mansion, is that he wanted a place to treat indigenous children. So when Muskogee didn't become the state capital, he and his 2 sons turned it into a children's hospital, which they ran up until great grandchildren were still running it, and they were all doctors. And the children's hospital closed in 1994. The building has been tossed around between investors that wanted to make it into a daycare to all kinds of crazy ideas. It's actually inhabited by this lady that bought it sight unseen from Oregon and traveled all the way to Oregon in a U-Haul trailer with her 8 and 10-year-old kids, and showed up and found out that the place had been abandoned for the better part of 15 years at that point, 25 years at this point. Transients were living in the house. The house wasn't as pictured in the website advertisements that they bought it off of. So they actually made a go at it and tried to live in it for about 9 months. Then it's just been, they got a big scare from a, quote, apparition. They left the house so quickly that they didn't even pack up any of their furniture. Clothes, photographs, mementos, bank statements, checkbooks, all strewn across the house until I bought it. So whatever it is that frightened them quite deeply. I've experienced quite a few things in the house. All the wiring has been stolen in the house over the past, 20, 25 years. The plumbing, everything like that, everything that you could possibly think of that's unbolted or that is bolted could be pried off or stolen, has been. So when I first bought the house, there's absolutely no power, no running water, no heat, air conditioning. I met this guy that was formerly, or was at the time currently employed by the local casino as security officer. So I said, in your time off in the evenings, would you like to come over and help me guard the estate until we get the security system up? Since we had no electricity, we actually, first night we just had basically flashlights, which run out of battery after a while, as you know. The second night, I brought out tiki torches. And so we've got pictures and video of that where it's just uber creepy sitting in front of this big old mansion that's 118 years old with tiki torches set all around it so we can have light to walk around the perimeter in it. And so there's just kind of an eerie ambiance with that. And then, came across several transients that were down in the most incredible places, like little holes and stuff like that, little nooks and crannies and stuff like that. You'd find this bedding material, and there'd be a human in there sometimes. That was interesting. And then actually, some of the tiki torches I have are actually of the lantern type, so we could actually carry them around. Again, with the neat ambiance, it's, kind of like a flashback to when the house was built, how they would actually, carry lanterns and candles around. The gentleman's name is Big Mike. He's everything that you could possibly imagine. He is big. He is former football star from Muskogee High School. He was so frightened in one part of the house that he actually dropped the torch and just started running. And of course, I'm filming it. It looks like the Blair Witch Project, remade on somebody's cell phone of this big monster former defensive lineman running for his apparent life through the mansion. And that's kind of the backdrop of where I first took over. And then we've had, I don't know how many different ghost hunters. We're meeting with one tomorrow that is going to tour the house with all her Ghostbusters equipment and go for the full Monty on the whole paranormal experience. And then I get at least one or two phone calls a week of somebody that wants to pitch a tent in the house and spend the night and have an experience. That's been interesting. Seems like the qualifier on that every single time is that they have to be left alone all night long. Insurance company says no. I say yes. See who wins that battle. But,
RoccaDawn says that they can stay at our house and watch this house.
That sounds like a very unique business plan, having people sleep in tents in an old house.
I guarantee if you did that and didn't even serve breakfast and just let people camp in the house and trip through the hallways and see ghosts and water apparitions or whatever you got, I guarantee they would sleep on the floor. There are people that do that. There are people that would gladly stay in both of your homes right now. Two of them right here.
Let's go.
So you guys have two really old properties in Muskogee that you are using as a jumping off point for bringing new life into Muskogee. And you have some events coming up specifically this month. Can you tell us about the Halloween Bonanza and what people will expect?
Yeah, absolutely. So, RoccaDawn, we are doing a murder mystery clue themed room to room. So every experience will be different, kind of like the clue game. You're going to pick your cards and you're going to go from room to room and find the clues. And at the end, there'll be a winner or a detective. We're going to award them a detective badge. We're excited about that.
Can I go ahead and put in my guess for who it's going to be?
Colonel Mustard.
No, I'm thinking it's going to be the linebacker security guard with the tiki torch.
That'd be an interesting twist
across the street.
Yeah, the guy you wouldn't expect. The guy running security for the other guy.
I know.
The competition. Yeah.
Well, Big Mike already verified that he will volunteer at our house as an actor, but not at Charles's house.
Well,
he refuses to go back into the old operating theater or the crematorium. And
yeah.
I'm not operating theater. We have the gurneys, the lights, a lot of the old instruments from the 1920s, wheelchairs, and then sample jars.
Oh.
I kid you, sample jars of tumors or tissues and everything like that have been removed.
Are you serious? Is this real?
I can take you through the house right now and show you the gurneys, the samples, everything.
I'll be there. Listen, Charles, I'll be there in 2.5 hours. No, but obviously having the murder mystery clue game going on at RoccaDawn, Charles, you've got the haunted mansion over there. Like you said, you guys are going to have your hands full how do we choose which one? Do we get to, is it 2 times the fun, or do we have to, we book one, we book the, what's the plan here?
It's 2 for 1. So
2 for
you
1.
buy at either house, and you get a wristband. You get to go to both of our houses. We're literally next door to each other.
The fight side, all the net proceeds will go towards the funding of the Christmas pageant.
Oh, that's a different episode. Unless it's a Nightmare Before Christmas pageant.
Christmas pageant and like a Christmas light tour. Both houses are on multiple haunted house tours in Muskogee. Both houses will be part of the Christmas light tour and the festival thing, complete with the fake Oklahoma snow, the blow-up Santas and the blow-up Frosties and everything like that. I personally am a big fan of the Rankin Bass Rudolph, so I'm going all out on the Rankin Bass stuff.
And something RoccaDawn wants to do, which we haven't quite talked to Charles about it yet. We're waiting for this homecoming event to be over, is that we want to sponsor, because we're from Florida. We don't have anyone here. We have our small group of, 10 friends here. So we want to, of course, give back to the community. And we were thinking about doing a community Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Those are great ideas for sure. So if people, go ahead. No, please finish.
Sorry, that would be something more. That's where we would be spending our money. And, of course, we have higher bills than Charles does because we have AC in this house.
Sorry, Charles. Get it together, man.
You also have pipes and electric wiring, so.
Right. You don't have tiki torches for a front porch light. Come on, Charles. Seriously.
I have a kerosene bill and a small electric bill for a bunch of drop lights.
Any Christmas. There's still a law on the books in the state of Oklahoma about the use of kerosene. You might want to look that up, but it's from the 1930s. So good luck.
He's still borrowing.
Well, y'all, if we want to find out more information about how to get tickets to events and how to stay the night and how to camp, apparently pitch a tent in Charles's house where there's no running water, how do we do that?
Yeah, RoccaDawn is on Airbnb and VRBO. I'm working on TripAdvisor right now. Actually, today I've been working on that. So that's the easiest way because you can just do it online. You don't have to deal with anyone in person.
And Charles, what about you? Kind of the same? How do we get in touch with Charles Crawford and company?
Each event has a Facebook site.
Sure thing.
Ultimately, the goal is to have more than 2 weeks worth of lead time to actually have a Facebook site that lasts more than 3 weeks in total exposure.
What is the Facebook page for the Halloween Bonanza?
It is a redirect to the flyer and our phone numbers. And then when we start, as soon as the homecoming event ends, the Facebook page is going to get giant. It'll have all the pictures of us decorating, pictures of the kids decorating, temp setups like with the makeup artist, everything like that. This time with a little bit more lead time, we want to do with you guys and with other entities, something that kind of shows the making of. If there's any interest whatsoever, then, post-event wrap-up, celebration. And
there's a lot that goes into, especially what I think what we really admire about your mission statement is bringing the community back in. And, here we are, we got a couple from Florida that comes into the community, embraces the community, wants to help bring the community back to prominence.
Yeah, sees the potential,
partnering with a neighbor who's got a haunted house. You know what I mean? You guys have the haunted HOA, seriously. You could start your own homeowners association with people that do nothing but have poltergeist patio parties.
Absolutely.
Or have a gremlin garden party. But we really, seriously, we appreciate what you're doing. Again, what we focus on is what you all focus on, and that is bridging the gaps in the community, bringing people closer together. You've got some great ideas. We can't wait to talk to you about those as you guys move along, and we really appreciate you being on the show.
Awesome, and thank you.
Okay, so we do have shows scheduled individually for both.
Yeah.
For both the RoccaDawn and the Fite Estate.
Yes, absolutely.
And more than likely, we're going to have a couple of other event shows coming up in the near future. They've got a lot of stuff planned.
I think there's probably going to be a OnlyinOK sleepover. We'll have a lock-in and invite random listeners to come and
I'm all in. I'll tell you what.
what?
I'll stay at the RoccaDawn.
And I'll stay. I stay at the Haunted Mansion.
Yes,
dude. Well, you know what? I have slept on the concrete outside. I've been nearly homeless. Let's see. I mean, I was raised in the south side of Oklahoma City. We didn't have central heat and air. I've lived in basically a guest house of what the Fite Estate has to offer.
Yeah, I can see.
Dude, you've killed rats.
I can see where you're going.
Right.
But I'm also going to say that the fact that there are still gurneys in the hallways.
Oh, yeah, that's enough.
You wouldn't last
27
seconds.
You're probably right. Like, as much as I would say I'd spend the night, how about I spend the day?
Yeah, there'd be a creaky floorboard somewhere and you'd come out screaming.
I'm instead of dusk till dawn, I'm dawn till dusk. A well-lit dawn.
But if you want more information on the RoccaDawn Airbnb, the Fite Estate, or the Halloween Bonanza, I'm going to include links in the show notes, so head on over there, check them out, give them a like on Facebook, etc.
And coming up after the break, are we getting a break? On our taxes.
So, news story out of KFOR, Caroline Sellers.
Uh-huh.
Governor Stitt urges lawmakers to cut taxes during special session.
No new taxes. Is that the same thing?
I don't know. I actually think it's reverse of that. Not
right.
No new taxes, but no more taxes.
No more taxes.
So Stitt was flanked by State Treasurer Todd Russ and the Speaker of the House, Charles McCall, in calling on the legislature to deliver on the following agenda priorities. First, he wants a trigger law mandating that if a state or federal court finds that some individuals, due to their race, heritage, or political classification, don't have to pay a state tax, then no Oklahoman will have to pay that tax.
That's big.
That is massive.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what they're looking at that's making them come to this conclusion, but
what kind of? I'm going to play the other side of that. He's gunning for future votes. We talked future dollars earlier. He's really gunning for future votes.
Yeah, I think anybody that says, "Hey, Oklahomans shouldn't pay taxes," is
you're trying to win everybody.
Yeah,
but what's the catch? That's the other part of that too. I always, when I hear stuff like you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, they don't tell you got to pay $12,000 in taxes on that.
So one of the other points is of his speech here. He's asking for a tax cut that puts Oklahoma on the path to zero income taxes. He says this is going to keep us in line with surrounding Republican-led states.
I just wonder, on the path, I'm 46. We're both creeping up on 50. Will it be in our lifetime that we don't have any income tax?
Well, we've been running a budget surplus for a long time.
Right.
And there are other ways for the state to raise money, property taxes, the travel and tourism tax. Those things all make a huge difference. So I think the ask is that we become a zero sales tax state.
Yeah.
So then you would just be dealing with your local and county states and then the federal.
Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Texas free of income tax?
I think most of Texas money comes from property taxes.
Yeah. So, and again, I think there's going to be a lot of proponents for and a lot of opponents against. You just never, with politics, I don't know. This is going to be a generalized statement, pretty simplified, but I don't trust the politics. Politics and economics the numbers don't always jive.
The list of politicians that I respect / believe everything they say or most everything they say, probably very few.
Well, and how many of them are dead? I mean, Lincoln, Honest Abe, you can hang your hat on what Lincoln was going to say. We saw what happened to that guy. So, yeah.
But the last part of his statement was that he wants a measure that increases budget transparency to ensure that Oklahomans and their elected representatives have the ability and opportunity to see how their taxpayer dollars are being spent. I'm all for government transparency.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say. We don't get near enough of that.
Even when you do, it's like you've got to have a PhD in goofy ass math to even begin to understand it.
Yeah, or have a brother-in-law that's either an accountant or a lawyer or a senator.
Or all three.
Or all three, right?
If you want to dive deeper into this story, we will include a link in the show notes.
Well, in honor of Halloween, we have yet again another episode in this special, a month full of special edition episodes where, we're doing some things that are a little bit different. We're tying some things together. We're making a theme. This is the time when we really put our best foot forward, and the production goes up, and
with our feedback stinger that we've got.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Well,
we have the ghost of a feedback stinger. But we did it. We do have some feedback on our show about the Guthrie Ghost Walk.
Oh, cool.
Some ideas from some of the listeners on other haunts in Oklahoma. Katie's Pies and More said a good haunt in Hera, 3 words, zombie killing bus.
Gimme. Yeah, I'm there.
And
double tap.
They said you can find my pies there too.
Well, we want to tell me where we can find your pies here. So I don't want to kill zombies to get your pies.
Veronica Tarleton said the old building at Central State Mental Hospital in Norman.
Yeah, we talked about that with Provine. I'm telling you, it is one of the creepiest places. It's just one of those places where if you drove by it, there's nothing about it that's not unsettling. Mental hospitals,
they're scary to start with, but that building would be scary if it was a lollipop factory.
Probably.
In the 20s, whatever year it was built. It's scary. It just looks terrifying.
There's got to be people buried on the grounds there. There has to.
I don't know if there are people buried on the grounds or not, but and for legal reasons, I don't know that we can say that, but I will say it looks like it would be possible.
Yeah, I'm going to have to swing through there soon.
So Superstition FX said that they believe Guthrie Haunts truly is haunted.
Oh.
So
we've got an invite to Guthrie Haunts. I may try to organize a group that can go with. If there's anyone out there that would like to go with the OnlyinOKShow to Guthrie Haunts, the best way to do that, reach out to us on our email.
Absolutely. OnlyinOKShow@gmail.com.
Hit us up on Facebook. Find us everywhere. We'd love for you to come out there with us and have the time of your lives. It's stupid. You're going to keep it in there, though. You'll keep it in there. I know you will, just to make me look foolish.
Well, this has been the OnlyinOKShow. I'm Harley.
And I'm Brad.
And we're out of here.
Peace.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú? I did my best. I did my very best. I don't know. Dos cervezas, por favor? I mean, I could probably get us to the next town, but it'd be pushing it for sure. All right, gang. Is the Scooby-Doo gang everybody all in one spot, ready to rock and roll? You son of a bitch. I was talking about D-Day, man. Normandy. I'll freaking get beat up by a bunch of World War II veterans. So tell me about what it was like landing on the Omaha Beach D-Day. You should have been so dang.
This over to listener feedback, and I'll start throwing them at you. And
Well, Oklahoma. 3, 2, 1. Well, Oklahoma. God darn it. 3, 2, 1. Well, OKlatober. God dang it, man.
Dude, I'm sorry.
It's your burps and your slurps. Burps and slurps are your
contribution to the show.
that's your tagline.
Honestly,
What?
it really boils down to I don't start doing that until you've screwed up the intro like 5 times.
3, 2, 1. No, because you start taking a drink, I can almost guarantee that'll be, that's, you know how many times that you've probably negated a gold freaking intro with your...
You know how many times you've performed a gold freaking intro in the history of us doing podcasts?
A few.
Not one damn time.
2018 Podcast Award, People's Choice.
I'm going to remind you of something. 2018, the beginning of 2018, is when you left the show, and I had to carry this damn thing by myself. And then later that year, you came back on
showed up just in time.
Conveniently
Just
in time to accept the award.
I charged the podium
Yeah.
like Kanye with the Taylor Swift MTV Award. All right. 3, 2, 1. Dude, stop.
I'm waiting.
3, 2, 1. The Halloween Bonanza.
Okay. Are we recording?
Without recording. Check you later.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
I smell the rainbow. Okay,
and
let's
there's
go.
no rain, man.
Something. Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. OKlatober continue.
No. Welcome to the show. We have to do the show.
Gotcha.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, gotcha. Jeez. You done?
Are you done?
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Are you done?
That's just BC powder. You remember BC powder?
Yeah.
Dude, that stuff works. I'm surprised they haven't outlawed it, seriously. Whoa. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to the show today. God dang it. The day returns. Damn it. 3, 2, 1. And welcome to the show. Today we're discussing,
The day.
bidet.
The 3 to 2, 1, the day.
I'm going to shoot myself in the face with a bidet every time I say bidet. I need a bidet. 3, 2, 1. And welcome to the show. Today we're discussing the 3, 2, 1.